This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro Insight for the week of November 27th, 2023. Welcome to the week of Plan B. Some of your Plans A may happen, but more likely you are going to be tweaking and making course correction after course correction. Not unpleasantly so. In fact, many of the Plans B come about because you realize that you could have more or do more, or that there are bigger or greater possibilities on tap for you. And oddly, while this Plan B vibe is bracketing the week, we're also becoming really focused on where we're going. Not so much the moment, not so much escapism, but starting to look at where is it we need to get to and how do we need to get there? Real practical thinking, an extremely practical mindset entering the picture. What more could I have? How much bigger could I make this vibe hits on the 29th when the sun makes an adjustment aspect to expansive Jupiter, the ruler of the sign the sun is in. And right on the heels of that, we find ourselves thinking about the way we were, nostalgia, how things aren't quite now the way we would want them to be, all kinds of holiday dreamy, retrospective thinking coming in. And maybe we let up on some people, and maybe we let up on ourselves just a tiny bit. When Venus also makes an adjustment aspect, hers to Neptune, her counterpart in love and inspiration. And that practical mindset hits as soon as the calendar turns to December 1. And Mercury, the planet of communication, I say, ruler of gadgets, and getting around, shifts into Capricorn. Capricorn is work-oriented, it's extraordinarily practical, it's down to earth, salt of the earth, and looking at where it's going. This is project management territory. This is turning your holiday gift list into a spreadsheet territory. His shift into that territory encourages us to think about what are we doing with ourselves, where are we going, and start to project into the next year, project into what we need to do to wrap up before that artificial designation hits. So even though the Sun and Mars are in let's have a good time Sagittarius, you'll also be encountering, observing, and probably feeling no time to waste, no time to lose, get down to work. And opportunities to stabilize, to be an adult, to systematize, to come up with plans, show up really easily and organically on December 2nd, when Mercury, as his first order of business in his new sign, has a sextile with Saturn, the planet of earliest degree, the planet that, remember, every other planet touches as soon as it changes signs. Saturn's the ruler of Capricorn, and his sextile to Mercury could make it extremely easy to plan, to put some structure on all your thinking, to not panic about how you're going to get stuff done. And do note, Mercury will have his final retrograde of the year in this sign starting on December 13th. And then on the 3rd, we make decisions. We make choices. We cut out some things that we thought we wanted to do. We grapple with competing desires and come up with the ones that absolutely have to stay with us. When Venus, goddess of love, goddess of beauty and creativity, and money and all we value, challenges her higher counterpart, Pluto, agent of unavoidable change, ruler of the underworld, ruler of deep compulsions and obsessions and desires that defy logical thinking. and sometimes even conscious thinking. This is not a particularly pretty or enjoyable collision. You may feel like your back is forced against the wall and that you have to make a choice, and it might involve cutting out an option, not being able to have both of what you want. Oh, you people in multiple relationships out there. And hey, no judgment, okay? This aspect just makes it tricky to pull that off or to continue it. If something in your life hasn't felt right, the Venus-Pluto square will enable, possibly force, kicking something to the curb, pulling something off life support, and again, choosing between options. And those of you who have been listening, those of you who have been paying attention, will remember that Pluto is the keeper of the exit door. So this means Venus is streamlining her baggage before she moves into the next sign, which happens next week. And as we're grappling with whatever the Venus-Pluto square brings up for each of us individually, there is a plan B that presents itself or becomes necessary when Mars makes an adjustment aspect to Jupiter, also on the 3rd. You can't do everything. Something's got to be tweaked. And very much like what happened at the beginning of the week, you could see how expanding your agenda, expanding your actions, broadening what you were planning on doing might be the solution. Homing thought of the week: bend and stretch, reach for the stars. Song of the week, I've got two: Taking Care of Business by Bachman Turner Overdrive and The Climb by Miley Cyrus. And the image of the week is marking items complete on a project management spreadsheet. Oh, and a brief aside for a PSA, my next book is coming out this week. Confessions of a Third-Rate Goddess, Traipsing Through a World Gone Weird. It's an anthology of diaristic pieces and essays. There's nothing specifically about astrology, but I do have behind the scenes as a soothsayer at the largest Renaissance festival in the United States, and also the nightmare of running a book tour event for a leading spiritual author. You can find out about this from the front page of my site, empowermentunlimited.net, and also the publisher website, ninthhouse.biz, and ninth is the numeral 9th. And learn more about the astrology in my forecast for the month of December, which is already up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. I also host lively conversation on Facebook on the page Empowerment Unlimited and in the group The Astro Insight Lounge. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, which in December is going to include looking at the solstice chart. And I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I post on Instagram and Threads at @KABiehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.